Joining up, see what he has to say about it. Meantime, Google's being accused of manipulating its search results to work against Republicans running in major Senate races across the country.
The Media Research Center finding 10 out of 12 Republican campaign websites in key Senate races got significantly lower search results compared to their Democrat opponents. 7 of those Republican candidates did not have their campaign sites appear on the first page, while 8 Democrats had their websites among the top results.
Kentucky Congressman and House Oversight Committee Ranking Member James Comer is here to react. Congressman, is big tech, which is obviously controlled by the left and has so many people on the left running it, showing its desperation over this feared, on their side, feared red tsunami?
They certainly are. And this is a problem that we've had with big tech for the past 2 years. And this is going to have to be a priority in a Republican majority. We're going to have to hold big tech accountable for their political bias. This is something that's not healthy for a democracy. Big tech enjoys many privileges like liability protection that other industries don't enjoy. This is certainly something that needs to be on the table. I don't like getting involved in over-regulating any industry, but this is an industry that clearly has shown its bias. They're doing everything in their ability to censor conservatives and doing everything in their ability to try to promote the candidacies of liberals and to suppress stories that would harm liberals. This has to stop, and this has to be a priority in a Republican majority.
Google responded to these allegations, telling Fox News, quote, "While we cannot respond to specific claims without seeing the research, there is no validity whatsoever to allegations of political bias on Google search, as third parties have found political ideology is not a factor in our search ranking system." But you remember in 2016, there was leaked footage of all the tech company executives responding to Donald Trump's win, and some of them were crying and talking about how horrific the election results were. Fast forward to today, and now there's this investigation into whether the Biden administration colluded with tech companies to censor COVID-19 information and what some people were saying about COVID. So how do we get back to an even playing field here?
Well, if you go back, the Republicans have requested lots of information, especially correspondence between the Biden administration and big tech companies on a whole host of issues. And I believe that once the election returns are in, Republicans get the majority, and people like Jim Jordan and myself get the gavel on judiciary and oversight, and we have subpoena authority, I think we're going to start seeing information come in. But one thing that I'm optimistic about was that interview with Zuckerberg when he admitted that the FBI hinted to him that they didn't need to show any forthcoming stories about Hunter Biden because it was Russian disinformation. I think you're going to see more big tech executives when it really comes crunch time. I think they're going to spill the beans on the coordination between the Biden administration and the Democrat National Committee. Remember, we believe the Democrat National Committee has been directly involved in big tech's effort to censor conservatives. And we're going to find out very soon, hopefully, in a Republican majority.
We will see. The people do need answers. Meantime, a shocking new report details that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has a real apparent lack of respect for President Biden. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the Saudi Crown Prince mocks President Biden in private, making fun of the 79-year-old's gaffes and questioning his mental acuity, according to people inside the Saudi government. He has told advisors he hasn't been impressed with Mr. Biden since his days as vice president and much preferred former President Donald Trump. Look, Congressman, we have constantly raised the issue of foreign leaders thinking President Biden, quite frankly, is a joke. What does this mean for our already tense relationship with the Saudis and for gas prices?
Well, it's not good, especially in Joe Biden's America, with Joe Biden's energy policy, where we become less energy independent in America and more dependent on the Middle East. Now we find out the thing that we've all known all along, that the Middle East leaders have no respect for Joe Biden. That probably started with the debacle in Afghanistan, and it's carried forward when they see the American energy policy. I'm sure they're sitting back, in addition to Joe Biden's gaffes, just laughing in just amazement that the United States, which has the ability and potential to be energy independent, having to come to OPEC and beg for more oil. It makes no sense. The Saudis are business people. Despite all their fault, they're business people. And they have no respect for this president, not only his policies, but also his performance. And we've all seen Joe Biden on the international stage, and he's not an impressive president. He doesn't command respect. We've gone backwards on the international stage between the Trump administration and the Biden administration, and hopefully with a Republican majority in both the House and the Senate in January, we can kind of offset the lack of respect we have on the international stage with a Republican majority that's strong and credible.
Right. So there's the foreign policy aspect to this conversation, and then there are some significant gaffes the president has made on the campaign trail recently. Take a listen to some of them. Watch this.
It was also Kamala's birthday. She turned 30. And happy birthday, great president. That's why I asked President Harris to travel to the region last August. President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol.
The president has recently said that he intends to run in 2024, but he recognizes that his age is a factor, Congressman.
Well, I think that there are a lot of factors that are going to prevent Joe Biden from running. His age, the results of the midterm elections in 2 weeks, but also his son. Look, this Biden family investigation is only going to ramp up in a Republican majority. There are a lot of questions that Joe Biden's going to have to answer with respect to his son and his brother's influence peddling that's happened over the past decade. So all of this together, I've put the odds at Joe Biden even seeking the Democrat nomination very, very low. The problem for the Democrats is they don't have a deep bench like the Republicans. I mean, whether or not Donald Trump runs for re-election in 2024, we have a very deep bench. We have 10 at least potential Republicans that could easily beat any Democrat in the field in 2024. So the future of the Democrat Party is not bright. That future is going to be on full display in 2 weeks when the American people go to the polls in droves.
Congressman Comer, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
As always.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.